Hello everybody out there. It's time for another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. Alright, we are here at episode 53 on a Friday night, and we've now embraced this prime time slot here at 8:30. And, I just want to thank everybody out there, as always, for tuning in. If it wasn't for you all out there, I wouldn't have a show. I wouldn't be working so hard to try and make this show better each and every week. But, it's been a really good and productive week. I feel like I got a lot accomplished this week. And, I think in the past couple weeks, I've been a little bit down. I know, I've said that in the past. But I just feel like, my mental is definitely in a place where it needs to be. And, I think that, having yourself preparing to continuously try and help yourself mentally and physically, as far as taking my, my personal health as a priority, I think it's only helped me to, come out here hungry and ready to go out and captivate the audiences out here today. Timothy Hugo, shout out to him. He's saying my beard's getting a little wrecked. I think I got a couple ways to go before I get on his level. But for everybody out there tuned in that's checking it out, this beard is definitely going a little bit crazy. I was thinking about cutting it, but I think I'm gonna go till my 30th birthday. And I think when I come in at 30, I'm gonna come in clean shaven. So I've taken this as a little bit of a project and seeing how far I can go with the beard. But thank you to Mary Beth Heaney, John Wydell, Timothy Hugo, Jeff Farrell, Ethan Bear, who's on our Facebook live stream. We got a great episode lined up for you today. Really want to get started here by thanking our sponsors at VW Liquors, located in Wick Plaza. They gave me some excellent beers when I came in today. Dave met me with warm arms as usual. And we really had a nice conversation about what we were going to talk about on the show today. And it's people like Dave and even Crystal who, ask me about what I'm going to be talking about on the show. And it just really gets me excited to come on the air and talk because, to see the excitement in their eyes and just the, just the sheer readiness for them to watch that episode, just really humbles me and makes me make sure that I'm on my A game here on the live. So thank you to you guys as always. Shout out to Carolyn, dropped off those beer cans to you. I can't wait to see those flower pots. And then also shout out to Gabe at VW Liquors. We also want to give a big shout out to our people at 91s.com. They got the best acid wash apparel in the game. My boy Cody Bromley. And then also we got to give a shout out to Executive Bar and Restaurant located in Carteret, New Jersey. But before I get into our show, I definitely have to give a shout out to VW Liquors again because, hey Dad, can you actually get that beer out the fridge? Yeah. I wanted to make sure it was nice and cold and ready before I cracked it on this show. I've been featuring this brewing company a lot lately because, like I said, my dad has been saying it's very important to support local businesses. So I've really taken the opportunity to try out some of the best New Jersey breweries that we have. And I've kind of just been stuck on Bolero Snort Brewery because they continue to give me great options and great choices when I come into VW Liquors. So, with, the oncoming of summer, we know it was 85 degrees today, right? It was a beautiful day. If you didn't get to go outside, you gave yourself an extreme disservice because it was beautiful out there.
Beautiful!
And one of the things that I like about, the nice weather is being out and having the summertime is sometimes you get a little ice pops, you sit on the stoop, you're having fun, hanging out in the backyard, but ice pops kind of like symbolize to me the bringing of summer. And we had this beer here called the Bull Pop by Bolero Snort Brewery, and it has raspberry, cherry, and lime, okay? This is one, I know I had a couple good beers on here, but this one I'm actually really interested to try out.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's called Bull Pop by Bolero Snort Brewery, so we're gonna give it a try here. Just crack it open.
Glug, 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 glug.
Wow.
Take another one.
Another one?
Glug, 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 glug.
That's actually really good. Now, I think I said before, I really like the Pina Bolada, but this one right here, I think we really hit it on the head with one of our beer choices here. If you please get a chance, check out Bolero Snort Brewery. It's called the Bull Pop. And I might finish this by the end of the show, Dad. This is actually really good. And then also, one of the things that I did want to talk about and reach out to was my boy Harris DeMarco. He has his own podcast called Spiiek. It's spelled Spiiek, I think it is, or Spiiek. Yeah, Spiiek. And he has his on YouTube, Spotify, same as us. And I actually got a chance to be a guest on his show. So if you get a chance, please check out Spiiek. And we had an episode with me on there, and it was definitely a big difference to me, and I really wanted to talk about it today because I feel like a lot of the times when we're on the live here, I'm the person here that's giving you all the show, and, when I have guests on here, I get to be the interviewer. But it was really nice to take a step aside and be the person that was being interviewed, I really felt like I got to give people, a better sense of who I am and the things that I'm passionate about, I was really excited leading up to it, especially because I've been trying to hold out because I wanted to do the interview in his nice studio that he had. But I just saw that, the show, he was going really well, and I just really wanted to be supportive of his show and, really got on there. And a lot of my friends actually reached out to me and said how much they really enjoyed that episode. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to my boy Harris DeMarco. And one of the things that, me and my brother were talking about when we were on the Xbox earlier is that, what we've seen now is that we have like this saturation of podcasts, right? I've seen my one friend, I think his name's Matt, that I went to college with. He started his podcast called Sharp Cheddar. You have Harry who started his podcast. And as we're starting to see is different people are starting to, really come up with this podcasting thing. And, a lot of people have come up to me and they're like, oh man, are you worried about people podcasting or people are taking your niche or whatever? But I'm just under the impression that, when you have podcasting or you have these different shows that are popping up, we all have our own lane. And I really feel like, for me in this show and Talk That Talk Show, we've had a bunch of people that have become loyal listeners and loyal fans. Even here at the 8:30 slot, we still got a lot of people on the Facebook live stream. So I'm not really concerned about, my reach or my base or, will other podcasts affect that? Because I'm one of the people that is always going to encourage other people to try and be better. And if you feel like you want to do a podcast, then you can do it. And hopefully by me showing you right here each and every week that it's possible, maybe someone will go out there and do their podcasting. But, in talking to Harry, one of the biggest things that I really took from it was the fact that he was amazed at how, I had 4,000 downloads and over 7,000 views on the Facebook live stream. And for me, I'm just such a tough critic on myself. And I feel like a lot of people out there are very tough critics of themselves. No matter how well you do, no matter how successful you've been, sometimes we are our toughest critics. And, for me, I can look at my YouTube and I'll be like, oh, maybe I don't have 100 subscribers or, oh, I don't have this amount of views. But, I think the main thing and what I try to tell my one friend is that, we got to appreciate the little wins, right? There used to always be in a saying that what we said as a kid is, what our coach would say, you don't celebrate something that you were supposed to do, right? But, in looking at that phrase, we still have to try and appreciate the process and appreciate the little goals and gains that we have gotten throughout, the process of achieving wherever we're trying to go. I mean, I look no further than, running, which I've taken as my own personal passion with each week. I've went out and, at least 5 days of the week, I can say that I've ran 4 miles a day. And, that self-accountability has been something that's helped me to now be under 200 pounds for the first time in 2020. It hasn't been very easy, but, I can say that when I stepped on that scale, I was under 200 pounds. And that is only a testament to the 3 weeks that I've done.
You've been on it, son. You've been on it.
And especially, yesterday, because I had zero desire to go out and run. And it was funny because I really drew from the motivation of, shout out to my boy Robin Santiago, but he came out and he jogged with me at TJ. And when he actually came to me, I was in the process of running my laps, and he said that the guy who's the security guard at TJ mentioned that I have been in the back every single day, right? He said, this guy's a regular. He's always in the back. You better be ready to run because he's there every day. And it meant something to me because, with Matt Kiyumjin, here's somebody, like I said last week, who's seen me, but he knows me. But here's a security guard who doesn't know me from a can of paint, but all he knows about me is that I'm in the back of TJ running 4 miles every day that I'm out there. And, that was a certain level of a self-accountability that I needed to hear because now I have my good name that I got to defend, right? If I'm not out there, that security guard is going to be looking for me. So to all the followers and viewers out there, my message to you all is, whatever you need to do, hold yourself accountable, all right? Because, you don't know who's watching. I didn't know that security guard was out there watching me each day or seeing me. And, that means all the difference when you see people that notice the hard work and, the things that you've done to try and put the effort in. And one of the things that's kind of helped me to drive me through, and, especially in those days where I don't want to run, is that I've kind of embraced it where it says, adversity breeds resilience, right? So in those times where I'm gasping for air and I can't breathe, I feel like I'm tired, I just really try to push through it and gain that sense of resilience because I know that the goal that I want to achieve is right there. It's right there. I can touch it, It's just a matter of staying consistent. And, I this week has really been, that week for me of validating that I am doing the right things so that I can put myself in the best position. So I definitely wanted to thank you all for listening into that because, that's something that's definitely been on my mind. And I feel like, especially having this platform that I have, and having the people watching, I don't want people to just tune into this show just to think that this is just a sports show or this is Barry just doing another segment on some sports topic. If you're going to listen to my show, the thing that separates this show, not only from being live, I'm only shooting it in one take, all right? I'm not doing this again. You know what I'm saying? This is one take live. But I think the biggest thing that separates us is that, I try to come to you all as a vulnerable human being and try to show you all the humanity in this show. And, I think that's what's been able to keep our viewers up and, have people tune in each and every week. So thank you, Casey Brucker. Thank you, Juan Martinez. Thank you, Brian Fellows. Thank you, John Saylor. Thank you, Stephen Baum. Thank you, Alex Balonis. Thank you, John Wydell. These are all people that are here to support this show. And I thank each and every one of you because if it wasn't for you all, I can't have this show. And to that, I take a cheers to you.
Glug, 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 glug.
Man, this bull pop is fire, man. If you don't get a chance, I'm telling you, check this out. But I definitely have some sports things that I do want to talk about. And the first thing on the list, I got to talk about my boy Blake Snell. This guy, I don't know what he's talking about, dog. But, for those of you that aren't familiar, because he does play in Tampa Bay, and we know they have the worst attendance in all of the MLB. But we have this guy, Blake Snell, and what he goes out and says is, for me to take a pay cut, it's not happening. I gotta get my money. I'm not playing unless I get some. Now, on such a sport in baseball, where it's such a team sport, you can't just win with one guy, let alone a relief pitcher or a whatever type of pitcher Blake Snell is, right? But, I was just really concerned with this comment because, it really speaks to the selfishness that some of these athletes hold themselves with, right?
His salary is $1.6 million.
Yeah, and he actually stood to make $7 million this year. He stood to make $7 million in the year 2020, and as we all know, with this coronavirus, it's really halted a lot of people. Not just athletes. You have people like me, real people that have been hit with this unemployment, right? And for me to hear Blake Snell say he's not playing if he don't get his full Skrilla, it's crazy to me, dog. Because if you think about it,
wake up.
If you have Blake Snell who's sitting here and telling the masses that he loves the game, he's so in love with the game of baseball, it shouldn't even matter how much money you're getting paid because you should feel like a service that you're giving back to the people, right?
It's entertainment.
You have people that are thirsting for some sort of game. We are watching Korean baseball, right? Because our MLB players don't want to go out and play. Now, one thing that I do agree with Blake Snell is this. There's obviously a great risk in going out there and playing, right? We understand this coronavirus is going on. We understand that it's happening. But it's all in the way that you message things. if Blake Snell would have just came out here and said, hey guys, I think that, we shouldn't get a half of a pay cut, but at least give us some sort of, maybe we can mediate to where we can go 60-40 or 70-30 or something like that, because what we can't escape is that this pandemic is affecting people. And for Blake Snell to put himself above everyone else and saying, I'm not playing unless I get my chicken, it's very selfish. And then you have Bryce Harper, who goes and co-signs him and says, yeah, I don't blame him. He's right. That is the wrong person who should be co-signing Blake Snell, because if you think about it, Bryce Harper tried to put himself above the Washington Nationals, and they got rid of him. And you see what they did? They won a World Series. So no one player is above the team or above the entire league. So when I see Blake Snell, I just think, here's another selfish athlete. And it sucks because this is the perception that everybody is going to think of him or of other athletes. Not just Blake Snell, but you hear the question all the time. You have these players that are making millions of dollars. Look, you got some NFL players in Quentin Dunbar and this other guy, Baker from the Giants, who are charged with armed robbery. You know what I'm saying? You have people out here that just can't understand what they hold or the value that they have as athletes. You just can't go out and play the game. And especially under the circumstance of Blake Snell, where they're trying to make things happen to get you to play, and yet you're still dismissing it for the value of money. And this is where the problem lies in our athletes. And it actually makes me respect these UFC fighters even more, because amidst this coronavirus, they're still dying to go to Fight Island. I don't know too many people that want to go to Fight Island, man, So, I got to give some respect, because, for Blake Snell to say he's only playing for $7 million because, of the risk or whatever, I'm getting my chicken, it was very selfish, man. So, something I would expect from a Tampa Bay Ray. Now, the next thing I definitely wanted to talk about while we're on the topic of fighting, I know my boy Sonny Aristocrat, shout out to him, he's going to love this, but we have Tyson Fury, who was in the news because Tyson Fury there was some rumors speculating around that he would pay $10 million to Deontay Wilder to get him to step out of the way. Because we all know what happened to Deontay Wilder. He got the brakes beat off him, right? We understand that. But the thing is, everybody wants to see that second fight between him, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury. But the thing is that you have somebody on the other side looking in, and that boy is Anthony Joshua. And if we remember the first time he fought Andy Ruiz Jr. in the Garden, he got destroyed. And that made a lot of people think that he won't be able to take on Tyson Fury or take on Deontay Wilder. But with Deontay Wilder, who lost, and now you have Anthony Joshua, who pummeled a very overweight Andy Ruiz Jr., now we are kind of setting up for, what do we want to see more? Do you want to see Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder too? Or do we want to see Anthony Joshua fight against Tyson Fury? And I think the big thing that I want to talk about, and I really think should happen, is I think we should let the Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight happen. I mean, we already saw what happened with Deontay Wilder, and they already have a rematch clause. So it can't hurt Deontay Wilder if he's already going to fight the winner. But I think what Deontay Wilder wants, and he has that big knockout record, but he still thinks he's that $10 million fighter even after losing. But sometimes when you take an L, you got to take a step back, right? You got to, and Sonny Aristocrat says, let's Ruiz get another. So why can't we see Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, or get Andy Ruiz Jr. go against Deontay Wilder and make it kind of like a little March Madness type thing? So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of great fighters out there, and, it's just going to be a matter of, what do people want to see, or what are more people going to pay to see? And I honestly think right now, with how badly, I think if Deontay Wilder didn't just get beat up so bad, and he didn't look like, he was barely standing out there, then I think a lot of people would have wanted to see that rematch right away. But I think with the fashion of way Deontay Wilder got beat up, and we also actually debated whether it was worse than how Tony Ferguson got beat up, because they both got pummeled, right? But I think as far as what will generate the most audience, what a lot of people are going to see, and that is going to be that Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury fight. So I hope that happens in the near future. But we definitely are not going to see that Tyson Fury is going to pay that $10 million. I know there's been a lot of other speculation about Tyson was it Tyson Holyfield? Yeah, I think that a lot of people were saying that Tyson Holyfield might step in the ring for the third time. And I would actually be really interested in seeing that too. I think for a lot of people that didn't get a chance to see Tyson, I think that, with the videos that he's shown about how in shape he is he the same Mike Tyson that he was before? Absolutely not. Is Evander Holyfield anywhere close? No.
Absolutely not.
But I think that this is kind of like that nostalgic type of fight that a lot of people would be able to want to see, right? And I think that I would definitely stream that. I'm not going to pay for it on pay-per-view. I can't tell y'all how I stream it, but I'm definitely going to be watching that fight. And, there's a lot of great things on the horizon. I know UFC is trying to set up this Fight Island. So there's going to be a lot of good fights for us to, tune into while we're here. So, big ups to you all for, tuning into that as well. Got to give a big shout out to my boy Andrew Disney. Glad to see you in great spirits, brother. Shout out to my boy Matt Fishbein. Meredith Page. Wow, I haven't talked to her in forever. Shout out to Ryan Mackey. Richard NG. Elise Banks. Love you, Elise. Shout out to Kevin Patrick. Ashley Krasinski. We got a lot of people here. I've been thanking you so much. You're making me, I guess I'm going to have to stay at 8:30, man. I think we're going to have to stay at this 8:30 slot. But, while we're on the topic here at UFC, I definitely want to talk about what we saw with Tony Ferguson. And he got pummeled, man. I mean, that was really, really tough. And, I think that what a lot of people were surprised about was the fact that Tony Ferguson got Tony Ferguson, right? In that amazing fight streak that he had, a lot of people were just beating the brake. He was beating the brakes off people. But to see Justin Gaethje just go out there and just destroy this man and, kind of really batter to what a lot of people thought was the king, Justin Gaethje, he packs potential power, man. And I think the one thing that we're not highlighting as much now, or which should get a lot more notoriety, is a comment that Justin Gaethje said after he won. And one of the things that he said is that Connor McGregor is losing notoriety. And when you really think about it, Connor McGregor really is. I mean, the guy has only fought 5 times in UFC since 2016, and he's lost 2 out of those 5. When in his, comeback match, who he fought against Cowboy Cerrone, yeah, he beat Cerrone in so many seconds. It was just like even under a minute. But, I mean, Cowboy's lost his last 4 fights in a row. So, I mean, that doesn't really give any notoriety to, Conor McGregor when he's been fighting, right? And just to see how, he came in and Khabib just completely destroyed him, I think that a lot of people do not want to see Conor McGregor go against Justin Gaethje. Because Justin Gaethje might beat the brakes off him, right? I just think that with Conor, with him, messing around and getting arrested, and, he has his little fight video clips here and there, but I just don't see Conor as hungry. I think that after he won, got all that money from losing to Floyd Mayweather, it kind of took the hunger away from him a little bit. And when you got people like Justin Gaethje who don't give a shit about notoriety, when he got that belt back against against Tony Ferguson, when he got that belt last weekend, he literally took the belt and threw it on the floor. And he said, I want the real one. And when you got people like that are that hungry to fight, that want to fight, I just don't see Conor McGregor not doing that, man. And you hear Elise saying he's not humble by any means. And the crazy thing is that, Conor not being humble, it just kind of makes a lot of people not embrace him, right? And the only people that have really embraced him are around the times of when he's winning, right? But when he's losing, and like he has in 2 of his last 5 fights in UFC, how can you expect that Conor McGregor can go against any top contender? So when I see Justin Gaethje, I see an absolute dog. I'm going to tell you right now, if there's anybody that wants to step in the ring with that guy who just Tony Ferguson, you are crazy. All right, and I know he messed up a lot of people's parlays, and I'm just really excited to see what UFC has in store for us. The one last thing that I definitely want to bring up is that we have German Bundesliga, who is coming back. They're going to be continuing their season or starting their season here, and I think that this, in combination with UFC, really helps us to give some sort of hope that the rest of sports will have a trickle-down effect. If we see that German soccer is able to hold, sporting events with no fans, if we're able to see that UFC continues to put out a great product amidst this virus, against this, corona pandemic, then we might be able to see that a lot of these other sports organizations will be able to come out and, bring some of our sports back. Because I think that, like we said before, if sports come back at the right precautions for the right reasons, then it can be very instrumental and influential for a lot of people to have something to gravitate towards. But as long as we do not use that as just an escape of what reality is, right, then I'm all on board for the sports coming back. And, with, the organizations like German Bundesliga coming back, and with UFC having the success that they've had, we definitely have some hope that, there will be some sports on the horizon. So big shout out to everybody out there tuned in. We had a great episode today. I felt like we had a lot of passion, right? A lot of passion in this episode, because I feel like, in this whole week, like I said, with running 4 miles a day, from being now under 200 pounds for the first time in 2020, I just feel like I'm at the best space that I've been mentally in a long time. I feel sharp, I feel ready, I feel motivated, I feel energized. These are all positive adjectives and things that I've been missing for a long time, right? Or for the, recent time. So for me, I'm just really happy to be here. I'm happy to be healthy. I'm happy to have an audience that wants to listen to me. I mean, we got the comments booming here in the thread. I'm a very, very appreciative person, and I want to thank everyone out there that always is tuned into this show. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on these streaming platforms. And the last thing that I want to say before, I go into our sponsors is that, yeah, I'm ready, Darius. He said Barrington is ready. That's his alter ego for me. He calls me Barrington. But, one of the things that I want to say is that, a lot of people come up to me and they say, yo, my bad, man, I didn't check out the episode. Yo, my bad, I didn't see it, man. I haven't watched one yet. And it's okay. I understand. We are amidst a pandemic, right? So, for those people that maybe are afraid to go on the live, or you haven't been on, I welcome all fans at all times, right? And I think that for those people that are a little, how could I say, they don't want to say, hey, I haven't, been watching your show. I haven't been a loyal listener. It's okay. I make the content and I put it on all these different platforms, whether it be YouTube when you're not live, or when you have Spotify, Google Podcasts. I'm putting this stuff out there for you to watch at your own leisure, right? So whenever you're ready to tune into this show, whenever you're ready to be enlightened and to hear some different sports topics and hear a little bit more about what's going on in my life, then we're here for you. I'm going to be here every Friday. I ain't going nowhere, all right? I just thank you so much. And when you're ready to tune in, I will be here for you to listen in, and you'll get a shout out, all right? I can't tell you how much it means when you have new listeners that I haven't seen in a while, when you have new followers, when you have people that are quoting your show. These are things that push me to continue to, build on this show and give me the confidence to go on other people's podcasts like Harry DeMarco and really, push myself, right? I'm just really happy to be here on this platform. I love you all. And, this is the Talk That Talk show. I mean, what more can I say? So, I'm going to get into it with our sponsors. Big special shout out to VW Liquors, located in Edison, Wick Plaza. Got to give this shout out for Dave, Crystal, Carolyn, Gabe Azarello. Let's go, Mets! Let's go, Mets! We always do that for Dave at the end of the show. And then also, we want to give a shout out to Cody Bromley at 91s.com. You got the best acid wash apparel in the game. And then also, we want to give a big shout out to Executive Bar and Restaurant located at Carteret, New Jersey. We actually got a nice little thread going on in here in the comments. I'm actually not going to touch it now, but if you tune into our next episode, I'm definitely going to raise some of the points that some people actually brought up here in the comment stream. So if you get a chance, check out our next episode next week, because it has my dad literally dying here in the background. I mean, I'm trying to, keep a straight face here and, record a live podcast. And you got this guy who's cracking up in the back. So, definitely tune into the next episode, because if you see in that comment stream, we got a good conversation going. And that's what the Talk That Talk show is all about. This is a platform to hear about different perspectives and to respect your own as well, too, right? So thank you, everybody, as always, for tuning in. Also got to give a shout out to Naya Santiago. We haven't streamed in a while, but we got to stream, Naya. I've been getting my ass kicked on Warzone. I'm stuck at 35 wins. Can we get a win tonight, Naya? Let's get a win. Let's stream on Twitch, all right? My Twitch is twitch.tv/BarryBucketsGaming, all right? Come check out the stream. Check us out on Instagram, all right? We're at _Talk That Talk Show. Check us out on Twitter. All right, Talk That Talk SH1, right?
Talk that talk.
We got Andrew Disney says he wants another guest spot. We'll have to see. Maybe after this Corona, maybe we can get you a spot. But I just am very happy and I'm very excited to be here. I can't keep saying it again, because this show just continues to get better and better each and every week. And it's all based off of, you all. So please keep commenting into the thread. Keep reaching out to me. My Instagram is _BarryBuckets, all right? Message me. Tell me what you want to hear about, all right? This show is for all of you, all right? Everybody out there. So I thank you, as always, for tuning in. I love you very much. This is the Talk That Talk show each and every week.
Every week.
Coming at you live. And you better see next week, because I don't know, my beard might be too big to get out of the picture. So,
Mustafa.
So check that out. This is the Talk That Talk show with Barry Holmes. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next week.
See ya.
All right, that's